turn the stage over to our next candidate. He is already the mayor, but he would like to be the mayor again. David Miller.
There is incredible passion and energy in this room. I want to thank you for being here, but I want to thank you most of all because it's the passion and energy that you show and the Torontonians showed 3 years ago that allowed us to take back our city government for ourselves. So thank you for your passion and your commitment. And that passion and commitment is what Torontonians have and share for our city. And I'm running for mayor this time, not to take back our city, but because it's time to move our city forward. And we need the commitment and energy of all Torontonians to move our city forward. And to me, as mayor, it's been a tremendous privilege working in every part of this city, in Scarborough and Etobicoke and North York and right here downtown, working with Torontonians, listening to them, pulling together to ensure that Torontonians have the services they need and their local government has the respect that it should have across this country. But now it's time to ensure that Toronto succeeds for all of us. And it's pretty clear what has to be done. First of all, our city has to be prosperous. Our city must prosper because we need to use the creative energy of Torontonians and their passion and their commitment to ensure that our economy is strong and that there are jobs for everyone. And the strong economy is not simply about making sure there's employment, but it's also about making sure our city government, which still suffers from the downloading of the Harris era, has the resources and funding it needs to provide the services that Torontonians demand in their neighborhoods. So in this campaign, I've spoken clearly to reverse the downloading of Mike Harris by uploading the costs of social services and transit that were dumped on this city 10 years ago, and that cripple our ability to work as a government. $731 million in this year's budget for the city. If Bill Davis was premier, or David Peterson, or Bob Ray, would have been paid for by the provincial government. When people ask, why can't the city support the services that we want in our neighborhood? That's exactly why. But it's not just about uploading. It's also about ensuring we invest in our future through a national transit strategy, like every Western country. Even the United States has the Transportation Equity Act for the 21st. Well, we all think of the States as a car place, but it invests in public transit. Canada is the only country in the Western world that does not have a national transit strategy, and it's time to ensure that we have one so we can invest in public transit across this city. And finally, we have to change the very strange situation that the City of Toronto, Canada's sixth largest government, when the economy booms in Toronto, our costs go up, but our revenues don't, because they flow to Ottawa and Queen's Park. And it's time for those governments to leave some of that revenue in this city through a sharing of the GST or PSD, so Torontonians can have a chance to invest properly in their city. And why do we need to invest? We need to ensure that Toronto is livable, that we're an environmental leader. You know, our national government is not upholding our Kyoto obligations. It's time for cities around the world to lead on climate change. And if I'm re-elected mayor, the City of Toronto will do exactly that, because it is time for action. It's time for action. And livable cities are about great public spaces. And I want to acknowledge the work that Spacing magazine has done, because our city has a real chance to have great public spaces across this city. And we're going to do that by working in partnership, businesses, residents, and the City of Toronto. That's why I've committed to putting $17.6 million into investing in our public spaces in neighborhoods across this city, to empower neighborhoods and local businesses to work together to create public spaces like Piazza Johnny Lombardi just up the street. A beautiful little public space in memory of a very important Torontonian that happened because a local councillor worked with local residents and local businesses to beautify our city. We can do that across Toronto, make sure our public space is there for all of us. In a city of newcomers, public spaces are where we become Torontonians. They're where we share our values and our experiences. And we have to invest in them, ensure that they're of great quality, they're livable, and they remain public for all of us. And a livable city and a prosperous city are both important, but to me, the most important thing is ensuring the benefits of that prosperity and the livability are there for everyone. That every single Torontonian truly has an opportunity to succeed in our city. And the sad truth in Toronto is that today there are neighborhoods in this city that are marked by very high concentrations of poverty and lack of services. And it's always been a value that we've held as Torontonians and as Canadians, that our society is equitable and it's fair and that everyone has an opportunity. Well, we can't always say that in every neighborhood in this city today. And I think it has to be our highest priority to ensure that young people and newcomers across this city truly have the opportunities they deserve, the opportunities that most Torontonians take for granted. That's why we've identified 13 neighborhoods as the neighborhoods of highest need, the ones with the highest poverty and the lowest services. And we're bringing investment and jobs and training and opportunities to those neighborhoods. Why? Because every single Torontonian deserves to share in our prosperity. And it also ensures that we remain a safe city. Because the sad truth is those neighborhoods are often the ones marked by gun and gang activity. And it's incumbent upon all of us to ensure that young people in this city don't get drawn into the gangs that promote such activity. And we can do that by providing opportunity and jobs, and we've already begun. You know, about a year and a half ago, I was really proud to be at a graduation ceremony at a program run by Toronto Community Housing and the Carpenters Union, where young people who are unemployed were trained to become apprentice carpenters by working on the very housing they lived in. And the first graduating class picked a young man named Junior as their valedictorian. And Junior stood up and spoke, and the whole room was quiet. And he said, you know, before this program, I was just hanging. And when I walked around my neighborhood, I looked down at the ground. And now, when I walk around my neighborhood, I look people in the eye. And they have to look me back in the eye and give me respect, because I am a carpenter. Junior turned his life around. And that's exactly what we need to do for young people across this city who don't have a real chance. And that's exactly what I want to do in partnership with the business community, with new investments from the city, the province, the federal government, the United Way. We are going to ensure that this city is not only prosperous, not only livable, with a commitment to fighting climate change and making our public spaces great, but it is a city that every young person and every newcomer has an opportunity to participate in the life of our city and to succeed, because those are the values of Torontonians. And on and after November 13th, I give you my commitment to fight for every single Torontonian to uphold exactly those values. Thank you very much. I look forward to